you? I hope all is well in your world on this Friday afternoon. Please, by the way, like, comment, subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. As always, I like to keep my comment section open. So today I wanted to really tell you about how to spice up an OC, how to take an OC you may have done years ago and do something different with it. And so, as I've told you guys, I've been working on a comic book, and so I want to kind of share some of the parts of this OC. Now, my first rule is develop your villain. Why? Because your hero is only as good as your villain is. And so I just want to tell you a little bit about him. As you can see, Mr. Draconis Khan from the planet Dracon. Yeah, real original. Anyway, aged at Earth, about 25 years old. Of course, his species ages differently. His basic goal is to find the Crown of Flames and rule the world. Now, the Crown of Flames is something that his father has. His father is current ruler of Dracon, and Draconis Khan, his whole thing is that he knows what it takes in order to get the flame to work. His father's had it, his sister's tried it, but he's the one that knows it takes the power of the firebrand in order to ignite the crown and to be able to give him power, basically, of mental slavitude, as best I can describe it. He basically has super, mind control. And so, you can imagine a villain, if he had the ability to control minds of anybody, any race, he would just use that to dominate the planet somehow. He doesn't need a whole lot of amplifiers because the crown amplifies itself the longer the flame burns in it, in the jewel at the front. So the way he just wants, his whole motivation is real simple: take over the world, destroy anyone that gets in his way, find the flame of the firebrand. And the firebrand is part of what makes the hero in the story. So I really wanted to kind of share how the villain is, who the villain is, and what he does, what he's about. His motivations are pretty simple. He feels like that he has the right to rule, and where his father may not be the fairest ruler, but he's not quite as cruel as Draconis is, Mr. Khan. And I did have the last name Khan in there intentionally because I kind of think of like Genghis Khan. So the second tip I give is, what's the motivation of the hero? What drives the hero to do what they do? And so there's a couple of things to think about. First of all, the entity of the firebrand that possesses the hero in this story. And what I'm doing is not just about building up the hero, it's about building up the story behind the hero. So when you think about motivation, the first thing you want to do is talk a little bit about what makes that character heroic. So here we have Firebrand. Now, of course, Firebrand in and of itself is an entity. It's an alien entity. Basically, Firebrand is this thing. I don't know that it's like a starfish or something. It's something like an alien entity. That's the best way to describe it. Anyway, it's from an ancient time. Its purpose is it's the interstellar protector and the final judgment of the interplanetary space force. It needs a willing host to command the power, and normally the host is a soldier, because of course the soldier understands how to fight. Soldier understands normally what war takes, because at the end of the day, he is a warrior. It is a warrior, the entity, of course. But again, it has to have a host. It can merge with anybody from any planet. And so, of course, Draconis Khan, if he were to get access to it, he would not only have the power of the firebrand, but he would also have the crown of flames. So that's something you definitely don't want to have happen. And so the problem is, when you say willing participant, it can be willing for the side of good or evil. It depends on the person. So in the basic story, we have a situation where the main hero's brother starts off as the firebrand. He starts off as the person who is the possessor of the firebrand, and then over time he ends up losing it. Anyway, this is the brother. This is A.J. Gonzalez. He's 28 years old. His occupation is he's a soldier in the military on Earth. When the Space Force was created, he sacrificed an arm to save a fellow soldier. The alien being itself was given to him in the honor of the race of the alien which he saved. And so the idea is basically he saved this alien's life. The people of that race came to him.